Greetings. Okay, so I'm gonna redo this video. So depending on which platform, because I'm live streaming on two different platforms right now. So if you're on YouTube, you probably saw my video yesterday, but I felt like that one I was supposed to go live, not like unlisted, privately live stream because I thought it was public, but it wasn't. I didn't find out until like shortly in the beginning of the video. So I'm like, okay, the interaction and it just wasn't there, and I feel like I was supposed to. So I don't know if Spirit just wanted me to just do that. I don't know, just whatever. I feel led to redo this. So if you're on YouTube, you're gonna see this again. Okay. Um. so greetings. It's 7:40 a.m. in the morning where I'm at. So I might sound a little um aloha. Hey. I might sound a little weird, like stuffy or something. I don't know. But I wanted to share my testimony because I've been briefly talking about my trip to Hawaii, which was much needed. And um, I only share my testimonies because I feel like it could help somebody else. So I'm going to talk about the trip and how I came many fears um, just within those short few days, and how I had to initially overcome one of my greatest fears, one of my biggest fears, to even get to that place. So, yeah, let's go ahead and just get into the live. Let's get into the video. I hope all of you guys are well. Those of you that are watching right now, I send you guys love. Hope you guys are having a good day so far. If you're just starting your day, good day to you. If you guys are wherever you are in a part of the world or whenever you're watching this. All right, so my trip to Honolulu, Hawaii, um, really was because of a wedding. It was a loved one. She had a wedding. She was getting married out there. Originally, we were all supposed to go to the New Orleans. We were supposed to go to New Orleans, and I was excited about that when my aunt told me, "Oh, so and so, she's getting married," and she asked me to be her bridesmaid. I was like, "Oh, I want to go." So when she said New Orleans, I was like, yeah, I get to go down there, experience the culture, connect with the ancestors. I was so excited. So I fast forward, it was like maybe a couple of months or so later, I guess she had called off the wedding or something, or it was something weird going on, complicated, whatever. And I was like, okay, why would she do that? So I'm kind of bummed a little bit. Like, why would she do that? And then later on, she's like, okay, now the wedding's on. Now it's time we're going to Hawaii. And I'm like, that's cool and everything. And I'm counting myself out at this point. 'Cause I'm like, okay, I can't go to Hawaii. Like, I would like to, but I can't. My aunt was like, just go, just come. Like, and then the whole plane thing settled in. So this is where my fears come in. So, yes, I know I would have to take a plane to get to New Orleans from Arizona to New Orleans. I know I would have to do that, right? That's a given. But the hours of the trip wouldn't really be that long. It's not a long flight. Um, However, in comparison to Arizona to Hawaii, that's a 6.5 hour flight. And I'm like, okay, this is not my first time getting on a plane. When I was a little girl, I used to fly all the time with my family. I never had a thought about anything bad happening to me when I got on a plane. That just wasn't a thought. Um, the last time that I got on a plane, anytime that I go somewhere, it's usually because it's around me, like it's within driving distance. I could take a road trip to that place. I like road trips. I don't mind it. But um, the last time that I actually got on a plane, which is one of my biggest fears that I had because of a traumatic event. So when singer Aaliyah died, that really traumatized me. And ever since then, it was hard for me to get on a plane. The last time that I got on a plane was actually a little bit after that. I think it was within the same, it might have been before, it was before 9/11. Most definitely was before 9/11. And Aaliyah passed away not even a full month before 9/11 happened. She passed away in August, and then 9/11 happened in September. So, um, me and my mom were visiting my aunt in Sacramento. So California and Arizona are not too far away. It's like an hour and a half flight from Phoenix to LA or California. So we got on the plane, and I was a little nervous, and I told my mom I'm scared to get on the plane because of what happened. That was traumatic for me. And she was like, that was a small plane, it was a private plane, and the situation around it or whatever. So I'm like, okay, thinking about it logically, okay, this is a plane. Things like this don't happen all the time, so let me get on the plane. And I got over it. Fast forward, 9/11 comes, and I have not been on a plane since then. Like, I just refuse. So fast forward to 30 years old or so, after 13 to 30 something years old, I'm just like, I do not do planes. And it's an unfortunate thing because I want to travel, and I have places that I want to go to, and I know that that's something that I would eventually have to get over. And I always knew that. It stopped me from doing a lot of things, and I'm just like, I can't do that because one of my places, like top places that I've dreamed to go, is to Tokyo. Like, that's one place I have to go to before I leave this earth. Like, I have to experience that. So I have to get over it because that's a flight. That's a flight with some hours, okay? So I had to get over it. Okay, so I'm preparing myself as it gets closer. I keep telling everybody around me, I'm scared, I'm nervous. Oh my God, I gotta get on a plane. And mom's like, well, we can get drunk, because that was one of the things I was like, oh, I gotta get tipsy before I get on this flight. Let me, and she's like, they got bars at the airport and stuff like that. And I'm just thinking of all these ways that I cannot be present for this. And then one of the things was edibles. I'm like, okay, maybe if I take an edible, like one that calms you, that kind of puts you in a peaceful mode. And I'm not a pothead. I'm not a smoker by any means. I haven't smoked in years. And I took edibles before, and I never really had issues with them except one time in the past. And I'm going to talk about that too because that plays into this experience in Hawaii. Some of you guys probably already saw that. The first time that I posted the video, you guys probably saw it. I removed it yesterday. I just took it down because I wanted to redo it, and it was too long. So I'm trying to condense this one a little bit. That video was almost like 2 hours long, I think. So I'm just like, I'm not doing that this time. But yeah, my brother gave me an edible for my birthday because I asked him to go get me some edibles, and I took it, and it just put me in like a freaking rabbit hole that was just not good and was very triggering. It was a Scorpio placement at the time. It was like a Scorpio new moon or moon or something. And I had lost a family member, and it was just too much. So I was tripping. I was just like really tripping. So I don't know what made me think, okay, well, so here's the thing though. So there was a vendor at a vending event that I was at. She gave me some edibles, and these were like little Sour Patch gummies or whatever. Because I usually take the gummies, the brownies. I've had a good experience with brownies once. It really put me out to sleep. Like, I've never had issues with brownies, so that's not one. But the gummies, it just depends on what type of grade it is or whatever, weed or whatever. So I took this Sour Patch gummy. It didn't do anything before the flight. I took another one because the lady was like, okay, if one doesn't work, take another one. So I took another one. I'm like, okay, maybe it's going to settle in. I didn't feel anything. So I'm just like, okay, I guess God wanted me to like really experience that and not have to fall back on some type of crutch to get over my fear. Days or a day might have been, no, 2 days. It was on a Sunday. I came across this prophetic video, and on the thumbnail it was a picture of a plane or bear. If you don't get down, get down. If you know how you can look out a window, like some pictures, they'll show you like what it from someone's perspective, looking outside of the window, um, of the plane, it looked like that. It was like you could see outside of the window of the plane. So that was the thumbnail of that video. And it said, I'm paraphrasing, but it was something along the lines of God is calling you higher or something like that. And the girl, she was talking about how she was guided to the message. Basically, I'm just gonna paraphrase. The message of that video was basically to not only come higher as far as like elevation in life, but more so your faith in God and your mindset to come higher in perspective. So I watched that and I was like, okay, this must be for me because I'm about to get on the plane and I'm nervous. And then the next day, on that Monday night, because I left Tuesday evening for my flight. But that Monday, I had this really strange dream. It was weird. I was like in an aviation, uh, I don't know if you would call it an airport. It's not really an airport, like airlines. It was more like private planes where they, they stay and where they board you. And I was watching this tiger being boarded on a plane. But mind you, this tiger was as big as an elephant. Like this tiger was huge. And it was a female tiger because I felt the essence of her. I don't know how to explain it. Like it was almost like I was in her shoes in a sense, like I was viewing her, I was watching her, but at the same time, it was almost like I was watching a movie and I don't know how to explain it. But I could tell it was a female lion, and she was getting on this plane as a sacrifice. Um, she was getting on, like, preparing herself because tigers don't get on planes. At least, I guess the ones that they take from different places and for whatever reason for the zoo and all this dumb shit that they do. But um, this tiger was as big as an elephant. She was huge. And she was walking real fearlessly, real regal, and I felt the energy from her. And I don't know why I felt like she was my cat. Ollie, my cat Ollie I call her mommy because she's a mommy. She gave birth to a couple of litters, and one of them being my two babies that I had. Well, one of them passed away, Tommy, but I have Bear. So she's a mommy, so I call her mommy. And it felt like her a little bit. It felt like her energy was weird. I don't know what that was about, but I do resonate with tigers because one of my goddesses that I work with and resonate with is Durga. So I look up the meaning of, because I know the basic meaning of a tiger is strength, courage, and all of that, and power, but I tried to look up a prophetic meaning of what a tiger was, and they were saying stuff like an enemy and a spiritual attack, and I'm just like, that doesn't resonate with me because I didn't feel that type of energy in the dream. So fast forward, in this dream that I had, I was on a plane, and a it was actually a real plane, like an airline plane, but it had like a bed in the back or something. It was weird. And I'm in the back and I'm laying in a bed. And bed is, I guess, a place in dreams of rest and also a place of intimacy. And I'm laying in the bed with my mom. And I'm laying face down on the pillow because I'm too scared to look because we're in the air and the plane was kind of like real shaky. It was moving really, like it was shaky, kind of like turbulence, I guess they call it. I don't know, whatever. And it was storming outside. It was night and it was storming. And I was scared to look, and my mom kept trying to like turn me over so I could see what was going on, and she basically like trying to nudge me to come out of my fear. And my aunt, my actual aunt that I was flying with, she was on the plane in the dream as well, and she was standing by a window, but the window is like she opened the door to the plane. It was so weird. I don't know how to explain it. It's so weird. And I'm looking outside and I see the clouds, I see the night, I see the storm, and I'm just looking at it like, I'm so scared. Like, what the fuck is you doing? Like, but I feel like that was a metaphor to overcome my fear. And the way that I had to overcome my fear probably wasn't going to be easy. I feel like that was a sign or something. And I was kind of nervous, like, okay, I got to get on this plane. And the day comes to where it's Tuesday. Okay, fast forward, it's Tuesday now. And this is the day that I'm leaving. Soon as I start my day, I break a nail. And I'm pissed because my nail shop that I go to is closed on Tuesdays. So I'm just like freaking pissed. I just got my nails done that Sunday. So I'm just like, I'm like mad. And me, like if stuff like little stuff happens, I'll take it as like, oh, maybe this is not meant to be. Oh, this is something bad happening, rather than taking it as it's something, things happen, or it could just be you might be being tested. You gotta keep cool, whatever. So I'm pissed off, and I call another nail shop by my house that's open, because one of the other ones that I go to, it wasn't open. And then I was like, okay, fuck, I don't know, I'm gonna just have to call another one. So I call this nail shop, and the lady is hella rude. I'm asking her if she's available at such and such time, and then she hangs up. Like, so I call her back, and I said, are you available or not? You hung up in my face. I didn't know if that was a yes or a no, if I could come in. And then I was just like, forget it, I'm not going. Okay, this could be the stubborn tourist in me, but I was like, forget her, I ain't going. So I'm just gonna fix my own nail, which I did. It held up all the way towards the end of the trip. When I got back to claim my baggage, my nail was messed up. But on the way, no, I'm fast forwarding. Sorry, I'm going too quick. I tell stories all over the place. I'm sorry. I'm not really good, because I'll think of like something I missed. So I'm recording the last reading that I did before I left. Um, and during that, I had my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I forgot to take it off Do Not Disturb for a few hours after I did that reading. And I look at my phone, and my dad is like, I don't have a good feeling about you going to Hawaii. And he was like, in the text message, he was like, I felt like I needed to tell you that because you're my daughter. I don't know if I should have held on to it or just tell you, but I wanted to tell you because you're my daughter. And my dad, he's into, like, he doesn't want to claim it, but he's psychic. He gets little nudges here and there, and insights, and he might get visions of stuff. And sometimes he says like he gets bad visions, and he doesn't want to always like share them. So when he said that to me, it kind of did trigger me a little bit, because I'm like, okay, well, shit, my dad do be getting visions and shit. But um, something in me was like, God wouldn't do that, because I felt like this is something that I'm being led to experience, and I don't feel like God is going to be like, I want you to go higher, and then I'm going to kill you. But if that be the will of what's supposed to happen, it will happen. But I'm not getting any warnings. And my aunt also is a seer, and she's not getting anything negative. So I'm just like, okay, I'll take heed, but I don't feel like that's for me. I feel like that was a fear, because he's lost a lot of family members within a year or less. Like, we've lost a lot of people in our family. He lost his best friend, my aunt, my cousin, his nephew. Like, so it's traumatizing. And on top of that, my dad already has a fear of flying. So I feel like it's easy to feed into fear. And I feel like that was an interference from spirit, or not spirit, from a spirit, like some type of interference. So I kept that in mind, but I didn't feel a heavy fear about it. So fast forward, now it's time to go to the airport, and we're rushing to get to our terminal, me and my aunt. And I'm like struggling with my bags, because she's rushing, really like racing through the airport. So all that, oh, we could drink at the bar, like there was no time to do any of that. So I'm just rushing. And then I break another nail. I'm just so pissed at this point. I'm like, is there something that I need to know? Like, what is this? Is this something I need to be worried about? So I'm going through the terminal, and then this alarm goes off, and I'm like, what is that? Like, everything was just like triggering me, and I'm just like, what was that? And mind you, I was already pissed off when we were getting our bags checked, that I forgot to take one of my sprays out of my purse, and they threw my stuff out. I'm just pissed at this point. Like, okay, they threw my shit out. I'm mad. Okay. Um, And I'm going through the terminal and I hear the alarm go off and I'm just freaking out. And I'm like, okay, is this a warning from God for me to just not get on this plane? Because I don't want to make a scene. And I don't want to, like, piss my aunt off because she probably like, you tripping. But if it's some final destination shit where I'm being warned, I need to get off. I need to get off this plane right now. But I got over it. I sat and tried my best to overcome all of the fears, all the anxieties I had. And I'm reading scripture. I'm talking to myself, praying like, God, if you want me to get off this flight, give me a sign because I just can't do this right now. And I'm like, just trying everything to just calm my nerves. And my aunt is like, read this. And it was a book or something that she found, or something in her iPad that she wanted me to read. And it was a line, and it said something about a woman having to face her fear. And she said fears are a mind killer. That's how she described it. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I hear you, blah, 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 whatever. Like, okay, I have to face this. And I can't drink it away. And these edibles, they're not working. I don't feel any more relaxed. So I text my daughter before we take off and tell her that I love her, just because, and also just in case, I'm thinking. And she texts me back. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll call you when I get to our room. So I prepare myself for takeoff, and when it started to take off, my aunt held my hand. We prayed over the plane and everyone on the flight and all of that. And I really, at that point, I had to feel through it, because when we took off, I just started crying. Like all these tears, and it was almost like a release. I felt a release when I did it, but it was like I had to face that. I had to overcome it. And it was like, it was a lot of emotion that came up, because mind you, I've been holding on to this fear since I was 13 years old. So I had to overcome that at that moment. Like, it's now or never. And on top of that, you're already in the air. What are you going to do? You can't get off now. So, all right. So that was the biggest fear that I had to overcome. That was one of my biggest fears I've had, is having to do that. And I know that it was essentially, it's a block. It's a block. And I feel, because airplanes and dreams, if you look up what airplanes mean on a prophetic level, they represent ministries. They represent international in ministries. So if there's something that I'm meant to do, is most likely travel involved with my purpose and my calling and what I'm supposed to do. And on top of that, if I'm supposed to go higher in mind, in my faith, I have to face what's blocking me, what's capping me. So I'm in Hawaii and it's so beautiful. I can't believe that I'm here. And I know some people are like, okay, well, it's in the US, like, you're not really doing it big like that. But I feel like any place, whether it's in the US or out of the US, it's sacred land everywhere you go. You can find God and divinity and something sacred about everyone's land and the people on it, whether it's New Orleans, whether it's Arizona, whether it's California, whether it's Texas, it don't matter. Whether it's China, like, you'll find something sacred is. But I've always felt drawn to go to Hawaii. Like, it's something about Hawaii that I've always felt pulled and guided to. And when I got there, I was like, I'm here. And it was so beautiful. But it was like the experience, I feel like I didn't really get to experience the true culture of it, because I was like in almost like a city area. There's a lot of shopping centers and stuff, malls and stuff like that, stores. They had little restaurants and little, but it was a lot of tourist like um, places. They had all these little gift shops slash liquor stores everywhere, like the same store. So imagine like 10 Targets in the same area. It was like, but it was like a mini convenience store. It's called the ABC store. It's funny. But and they have some cute stuff in there, some nice stuff. But it was like, it wasn't really an experience of like the true culture. And I feel like I got a little bit of that at the luau, and I'll talk about that in a second. But when I got there, it was really clean. They keep their streets really clean. Um, We were staying in an Airbnb, which was on the 10th floor, and I do not like heights. And that was another thing that I had to deal with. But it was just, I felt settled. I felt good when I got there. I was proud of myself that I even did that, getting on the plane, and I had to face it. So I was glad and I was proud of myself. So we're walking around. The first 2 days is just me and my aunt enjoying our time there before, we partake in the bridal festivities or whatever. So we go to the beach Wednesday, and it's just so beautiful. The water was really like a light blue color, and it's just so beautiful out there. It really is. The energy, the vibe, like some of the tourists, there's a lot of tourist people, of course, out there, especially around this time of year. It's a really nice time to have vacation, right? And some of them are cool, some of them were rude and stuff like that. But the natives there, they were really nice. And I met the Lyft drivers. A lot of them came from other cities. Like one of them came from Chicago. One of them, I don't know where she was from, but it was a white chick. So there's a mixed culture of people that move out there. I've seen some black people there that work, in um, out there, different restaurants and stuff. It's just a big culture, and it's really, the people there are really nice. Like I said, the tourist people, the people that visit, some of them are nice and some of them are rude. You just get what you get. I would say that where we stayed, it was in the Waikiki area. It kind of felt like a mixture between LA and Vegas, kind of like when you go down the strip, but it was way cleaner, much cleaner than Vegas. Um, it was much cleaner, and it had like a city feel to it, and everything was in walking distance. We didn't have to take no lifts unless we had to go far. And yeah. So fast forward to Thursday we go to this rain we go to this rainforest, and it's called Manoa Falls, which means a place of rest or a place of peace. And I thought it was funny because the last part of the name, the NOA, is like the spelling of my name, Chenoa, which means peace or white dove. So I thought that was interesting. I mean, I should have known that. I guess that part, that spelling might have peace in it. I don't know if that's something with a language. I don't know. But we go to the rainforest, and it is so beautiful. My God. It's so beautiful. Though on the trip, on the way to the rainforest, we actually start to see houses because where we're at, there's nothing but hotels and condos. So when we're going up this mountain, we see these houses, and the way the houses are structured they look kind of like 70s, like they were built in the 70s or the 80s kind of, but they're so dope. And they're in this beautiful area. Like everybody's yard was like real green, and um the house, it looks like there was like an underground, like you would walk down. I don't know how to explain it, but these are really cute they were nice houses. They had character. They weren't cookie cutter houses that you see a lot in certain suburb neighborhoods. They had their own character. So we're going up the mountain, and it's beautiful even on the way up there. And I have a thing for trees. I love green. I love greenery, like just plants and trees and stuff. And we were going up the mountain, and when we start walking towards the rainforest, it's just, oh my God, like, it is just beautiful. And I shared on my community post, and on the other platform, I posted some pictures of the rainforest. It was so beautiful. Just the way the trees were structured, the way that the plants are wrapped around the trees, the flowers, I'm just like in awe. Like, and at the same time, I can't breathe because my body was not prepared for no damn hike. I have not hiked in years. Like when I used to live near South Mountain, I would always hike every Saturday morning or Sunday morning. I would hike. It's been a while, and I don't work out like that. The only workout I really get is if I have to go walk somewhere, like take my dog out or something. So I haven't worked out in a minute, so it's not good. So I'm like walking up this mountain. It's a heavy, like you're going up a mountain. Some hike trails, you know, some of y'all know, like it could be just around the mountain. Doesn't always have to be an incline or like going up a mountain. South Mountain, you're going up a mountain, but some hiking trails, you're just walking around the mountain or whatever. But this was like, we're going up high. Like, we already had to drive up a mountain, but we're going up higher. So we're walking. It's really nice weather. It's kind of sticky, but it still has a little bit of that breeze, and it could be because of the trees. And it was a really nice day outside. Um, and I'm grateful that I didn't wear pants. I had shorts. I'm very grateful. I had my hiking boots on. Like, I was equipped on that level, but on top, like, I had water. Thank God I had a big ass bottle of water. But I was sweating my ass off. I was sweating, and I was like taking stops, and I'm watching these older people coming down that just went up the hike, and they're coming back, and I'm just like, they shitting on me. They making me feel some type of way, because some of them are like real, they're elders, like probably over their 50s and 60s, and then you see babies, like little toddlers and little kids, and I'm like, y'all making me look like shit out here. But it was really nice to see. It was like families, it was babies and toddlers. Some babies were like backpacked on their mom or their dad, little baby strollers or whatever. Then you see the dogs, you know, dogs going up the mountain and stuff too with their owners or whatever. So it's a really beautiful hike. It's something to see, but you gotta be prepared, okay? Because if you're not in shape, that's a hike. And it was about an hour up there. It was about an hour. It took an hour to get up there. It seems like it's a little more quicker when you come back. It's not as a long time frame. So we get to the point where we're close to the fall, because that's what we wanted to see, the top of the mountain, and we wanted to see the waterfall. So, and we didn't even really make it all the way to the top, because there's a whole nother trail that you can take to go to the top. But we wanted to see the waterfall. So um we're almost there, and I'm like, at this point I almost want to just be like, I don't care to see the waterfall, we can just walk back. And my aunt was like, are you sure you want to go, you whatever. And there was a lady that passed by us, and she's like, you guys are almost there. And I'm like, okay, this, I'm going to push myself. And God was like, no, you're gonna finish it. And I recorded a video of me walking up there, like, okay, because I had to push myself because I'm tired. My legs, my booty is hurting, my booty's burning. Okay, I was doing a booty workout, basically. My calves are burning. I'm sweating like a maniac, and I'm just like, okay, I don't know if I can do this. And I'm like breathing really hard and trying to like keep my breath right and in alignment or whatever. So we make it to the waterfall, and I'm just like, we made it. Okay, cool. Whoa, whatever. And you see all these people below, because you got to also take another step down to get to the actual water. So it's kids down there swimming, it's adults down there swimming, but you got to like hop some rocks to get down there, which is a whole nother hike in itself, another exercise. And I'm like, okay, I got the right boots on, so it's nothing to jump up from this rock to this rock to this rock. You just got to be careful. And I have nails, so I'm like, okay, I can't break no more nails. I can't afford that. I don't have time. But I did make it down there. I'm girly, but I do have a nature side. I'm a Taurus, so I can maneuver my way around nature. So I jumped down this rock to this rock to this rock and sat there by the waterfall, and it was just so beautiful. It is, I'm telling you, like, it's something about trees and plants and nature, and then you can hear the birds, and it's so beautiful. And the sun was out at that point, because we got there in the morning, and it was like kind of getting to almost to noon. It was like around 11 o'clock, and then we started walking back, and we walked back, and it was just so much beauty. I don't know how to explain it to y'all. I can't explain it. And pictures don't do this place justice. Like, the pictures I posted, it doesn't capture the beauty of this place. It just doesn't. But so fast forward, that same day, Thursday, we link up with the bride and some of her bridesmaids, because my aunt was one of the bridesmaids. So we were all linking up, and they were like, we're gonna take a booze cruise. Like, what's a booze cruise? Okay, it's a boat ride on the ocean, and they got a little bar or whatever, a little mini bar. And I'm like, oh, I'm down. Like, my aunt was like, you want to go? I'm like, yeah, I'm down. Then something settles. I'm like, shit, I got to get on the water with in a boat, which is one of my other fears. I do not like the feeling of being in the middle of the ocean, just like with nothing, and it freaks me out. Another fear that I had to overcome. Um, so I'm in awe of the ocean. I love the water. I love the ocean. So I'm just like, okay, I can kind of get over it. And on top of that, y'all providing us drinks. So okay, I should be okay. I should be all right. And then here my dad comes again because he's asking me how my day is going. I'm like, we're getting ready to go on to the boat and take a boat ride or whatever. And he's like, oh, please be careful. Please let me know when you make it back. So there's that shit again. Like, please don't do that. Don't feed into the fear. Don't do that. So I get on the boat, and the boat. Well, I've been on. Let me backtrack. I've been on cruises before. I've been on a cruise. I went on one to Cabo, to Mexico. When I was 18, I went on this cruise, and when I was outside of the boat, like when we would look out amongst the ocean, I was in awe of it. It was beautiful. But when it settled in, like we were in the middle of the ocean, and then that little Titanic programming comes in your head, like, oh shit, the Titanic ship. But like, mind you, that was a boat they were testing out like years and years and years ago. So it's like, get out of that, like snap out of it, okay? But I was like, okay, I can't look at the ocean too much like this. It's just too much. I got to go back inside. So I go back in the boat, and it looks like it looks like a hotel. You know, there's shops, there's restaurants and casinos and stuff. So you just kind of get over it. But that was my only time being out on the ocean like that. But you kind of forget, like similar to when you're on an airplane, except for all of the movement. And that boat had a lot of movement too. The boat was like, or the cruise ship, it was like leaning to the side on the oceans, and I shouldn't be saying this, and I shouldn't have done this, but I was getting tipsy at that. I was drinking because they were providing free drinks to the adults I was with, and I was drinking with them, and I was a lightweight. So, I was a little tipsy, and I'm laughing at the fact that the boat is like shifting because we're flying all over the place. But naturally, if I was in my right mind, I would have been freaking out. So there's that. So fast forward, we get on this booze cruise, this boat, and we get out in the ocean, and then my anxiety goes away because I'm just in awe of this. Like, I'm like, this is so beautiful. And their water, like I said, it's like a turquoise blue. It's like a fluorite crystal blue. Um, it's just beautiful. Like, I'm just like, oh my God. And the sun, how it's dancing on the ocean, I'm just like, this is just so, like, it's just too much for me. Like, it's just too. And I felt so liberated that I did that. I'm like, another thing that I was proud about. I was like, you did it. Like, you went on the little waters. You took a trip, okay? Because, yeah, I had to get over some stuff. Like, I can't do that. I can't. So, yeah, there's that. So Saturday comes oh, wait, I almost skipped a good part. Sorry. So Friday comes. I'm skipping the days. Friday comes, and it's the day of the luau, and I'm excited because this is my first luau. And our drive up there, we take like this little party. It wasn't a party bus. It was more like it was provided by the company or whatever. Like, it was like a part of the package for the luau or whatever. And the bridal party, we all get on together, and it was some other people, some other families or whatever. We get on, and we're driving towards the luau, which is, I think it's called Moana. What's it called? I can't think of what it's called. I know it was by Turtle Island. I can't think of it now. It's not coming to me, but we're driving there, and we see, like, the rest of the city, and it looks like a neighborhood, your everyday neighborhood. See a 7-Eleven. They do have a ghetto. if you want to call it that. They have the little nice mansion houses, and these houses are so beautiful. They're so beautiful. They're like mini mansions. And then there's a beach. You can see the beach. It's just, oh my God. I was just like, I'm jealous. And we going past these houses, and then we get to the mountains, and then we see this big ass mountain. I don't know if it was a volcano. The bride was like, "Is that a volcano?" Like, I don't think so. But we're passing by the mountains, and then we see the oceans. And hey, good morning. We see these oceans, and it's so beautiful. And then the guy that was driving us, he was like, "Get your cameras out. We're about to pass by Turtle Island." And this island is just so, the setting, like, it's something about seeing mountains in the ocean that I don't know what that is for me, but it's so pretty. I don't know how to explain it. So then we get to the luau place. Hey, we get to the luau place, and um it's the scenery. So they have like an aquarium in there, and all we saw was turtles. They didn't have nothing else available, but for us to see. But we were just walking past everything, and it's like when you look outside of the resort, you see the palm trees, and then you see the ocean. And at that time, the sun was about to set, so you can just imagine how beautiful the sky looks. I was just like, this is just, I just love it. God is just amazing. Like, nature is one of God's most beautiful creations, I must say. So I'm looking at all of this. I'm taking pictures and all that, whatever. And we get to the luau, and there's men climbing the tree. I was just like, what's going on? Like, why are they on palm trees climbing? But it was a part of the show, I guess, or whatever. I'm just like, oh my God, making my heights and giving me jitters looking at that. Um, then you had a couple of ladies that, it was a guy who was shredding up palm tree leaves, and then the ladies, they would braid them, and they would create, I forgot what they're called, but they would create these crowns, and then they would stick an orchid in them. And I love orchids. Orchids are one of my favorite flowers. They stuck them in there. I think I posted on my Instagram a video of them braiding and creating those crowns. But I thought that was really neat. So we all sit down, we got our food, we got our drinks, whatever, and then the show is about to start. And fast or backtracking, going back, one of my sisters, my spiritual sisters, was like, you know, Pile's energy's out there. I know she's gonna welcome you. And I'm not unfamiliar with who Pile is. The goddess of Hawaii, the volcanoes and the fires. So we already know who she is. And then the show, they dedicate the show. The introduction starts dedicating. It tells you the story of Pile. Um, and I'm just like, wow. And I just get chills, because it's like certain things just come full circle, and you just get this feeling like, okay, this is confirmation that you were supposed to be here. So I felt that. I'm enjoying like the luau and the different cultures. They talk about the different Polynesian tribes and cultures, and you have the Samoans and all. I was just enjoying all of this, and it's just something to see. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. I do feel like it wasn't like a raw, authentic luau. I mean, it was still, they were still sharing their cultures and stuff, but it was like kind of attraction, like, if that makes sense. But I appreciate them still, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to explain it. So anyway, I was happy about that. Now, there was a point I wanted to make about Friday, but I forgot. So Saturday, boom, fast forward. This is the day of the wedding. And I'm getting dressed to meet everybody at the bride's hotel room. So I'm getting all my stuff packed in a bag so I can go walk to the hotel, because we're all in the same area. I don't got to take no lifts, no taxis. I can just walk right to the hotel. So I'm getting dressed, whatever. And Spirit was like, before you go, look at that picture on the wall. Because there was different scriptures throughout the condo that we were staying at. And there was one picture near the bed that my aunt had, and I don't go on that side of the room, so I didn't see what that scripture said. But something was like, look at that scripture before you leave. I didn't. I was in a rush. I forgot. So we get to the wedding, and we're all in a rush, like trying to figure out where this place is. And it was at this beautiful beach park, and I think it's called the Magical. What is it called? The Magical Park or Magic Park, something like that. And this park is beautiful. It's a big park, and all you see is all these families stationed in different areas playing their music, listening to music, vibing, kind of like what you would see in the hood. Like, they barbecue and they listening to music, they have their own tents. And I'm just like, I want to move here, Spirit. I think this is gonna be one of my homes. Like, if it's not my main home, it's gonna be one of my homes. I want to move here. And I was FaceTiming my daughter while I was walking because I wanted to show her, and I was like, I want to move here. This is about to be our new home. Like, I want to be out here. And you walk a little bit further, and then you see the beach, and then you see all these kids playing in the water and people surfing. I'm just like, this is the life. I thought California was it. Like, California is one of my homes by nature because some of my family's out there, and I love being there. But I'm just like, I got to be here, okay? So we're getting ready for the wedding set up and all of that, and everybody getting there because the limo that I was in was with some of the bridal party. No, it wasn't. It was actually the attendees, the other ladies. The bridal party was with the bride in the limo, in their limo. So we get there, we're trying to figure out how to set everything up. And unfortunately, they chose me to be the one to live stream the wedding. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't like Facebook. I don't use Facebook. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But long story short, the wedding starts. And I'm in my head like, oh, am I doing this right? Oh, I'm just all over the place. But then you watch the wedding, and it's just like, it's so simplistic. They have a Hawaiian ceremony. The woman that was marrying them was, sharing certain traditions and stuff like that. And I thought that was really beautiful. There was a lot that I was learning about certain things, and their vows, that the Hawaiian vows that they were, speaking to each other was beautiful. I'm not going to talk too much about their ceremony because it's sacred, but it was beautiful. And then they did the regular exchange of rings. They laid each other. They laid each other with different, the lays, and not laid each other like that, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, at least not at that time. They were not laying each other. But it was just beautiful. So the setting, the sun started to set, and it was just something to see. It was just so beautiful. And there was this little bird that kept talking during the wedding, and I took it because I think, everything in nature has a purpose, and that bird, I don't know what it was trying to communicate, but it was communicating the whole time. And it was just, and the little bird, it was so cute. I've never seen these type of birds, but it was like this bird that had like it had red feathers, and it had some little black spots on its chest. It was really cute. It was a tiny little bird, very loud though. He was very loud. And they're pigeons. I've never seen freckled pigeons. What do you call it? Pigeons. I'm like, they got Dalmatian. They got Dalmatian pigeons out here. I've never seen it in my life. Like, what is this? Anyway, them fuckers were just everywhere. But it's a given. Um, but it was just beautiful. The nature and the trees. They had these big, 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 big trees. You know those trees that have those long roots? It was like the big grandmother willow type trees out there. And then they had the palm trees. It was so gorgeous. So, um, we're still, we're done with the ceremony. Everybody's taking pictures and stuff like that. We all take like the professional pictures, and then after that, everybody breaks away and they start taking their selfies and taking their own pictures that they want to take. But me too. I love nature. As long as I don't get bit by nothing, because I have a thing with bugs. I do not like things crawling on me. I don't like being bit. Of course, I don't think nobody likes being bit. Um, I used to collect bugs when I was little, like certain bugs. Like if I would find something interesting, I would put it in the book and keep it, like a dead bug or something, and just keep it in the book. But just don't touch me, though. I just don't touch me. But yeah, I love nature. Besides that, I love nature. So yeah, everybody's taking selfies and stuff, And one of the girls, one of the attendees, she was chilling, and my aunt was like, "You still feeling it? You feel good?" And she's like, "Yeah, I feel good. I'm relaxed." And I'm thinking to myself, like, what they talking about edibles? I'm like, "You got some edibles?" And she's like, "Yeah, you want one?" And mom was like, "No, don't give her none, because you're going to be up in the room talking about you sleepy and you tired and you ain't going to want to get out of the bed." And I was like, "No, give me one," because I'm feeling anxiety a little bit too, because I'm over analyzing, like, oh, did I record it right? Did I do too, was I moving around too much? I'm just doing too much. And I'm stressed out. And I might have been picking up on other people's energy and stress at the time as well. The hecticness of trying to like get everything in order. So I take edible. I take half. Someone told me just split it in half. It was a little gummy. I don't know what type of gummy it was. It was like one of those sweet and sour gummies or whatever. And I took a half of it. And everybody was still taking pictures. The bride wanted her bridal party to take pictures by the ocean, and I'm like, I'm gonna walk back to the room. We're gonna go, because the limos were ready to pick us up. So I'm like, I don't know why they're still out here. We supposed to all leave. We supposed to be back at our a room in our condo room, whatever, at a certain time. So I don't know why y'all still here. So the ladies that I came with, we all left and walked back to our limo, and then we got back to the hotel where we got picked up at, and then I leave and part, and I go walking back to our apartment condo thing. So I'm walking, and I'm already feeling the kick of it. And I know when certain edibles do certain things to me, because either one, I'll be really giggly and real chill, or I'll be fucking paranoid, and that's the high I do not like. So I'm walking back, and I'm starting to feel all the criticism on myself that I give myself, and I'm over analyzing. I start being really paranoid, like, is someone following me? Like, I'm tripping, right? I get into the room and I get in the shower, and I'm like, okay, God, wash the shit off of me, because whatever this is, I do not want to feel this. I was drinking water, I was taking a shower, I'm just like, get this off of me. And I'm sitting, and then when I'm sitting, and I'm thinking, this is part of the trip that was the biggest breakthrough and revelation came through this part of the trip, but this was like everything. This was like the grand finale. This was the grand finale. I was tripping in there. Like, I was sitting, I was overthinking, and all of the different fears, all the judgments was coming up that I felt about myself, what I thought people thought about me. Um, that was something Spirit was showing me. Okay, you still got to release the opinions of other people. You have to forgive yours. It was just so many different things. I was getting revelation of what I had as a block. Spirit was showing me these things, but at that moment, I was being tormented by all of this, and I felt scared. I was like, okay. I was questioning a lot of different things. It was torment. All I could say was it was very it was mental torment. I was in hell in that very moment. And my aunt's not here. She's still, as far as I know, she was still at the beach. So I'm sitting in the room by myself, like tripping. And I remember, and it's always during like a Scorpio placement or something, like Scorpio time, where I have the biggest shadow work, like the deepest shit that comes up. It all just like vomit, just comes up, right? Because the last time that I took an edible, it was a Scorpio full moon or new moon or something. It was a Scorpio placement at that time. And that's when I was like dealing with a lot of stuff. And um, that spirit of suicide really like tries to come out. And that's how I know it's darker energy, because it'll come in and it'll suggest you do things to yourself. And I was so high up. Um, Actually, that condo, that apartment space had like 30 floors in it. 30 floors. It had 30 floors. So we're on the 10th floor. That's really nothing, but it's still enough for me to do damage if I was to listen to those suggestions to take myself out of here. It still would have did something. So that comes to mind. Like you just might as well just do it. You might as well, because oh, you're a bad person and you've done this before. And that's what the enemy does. The enemy condemns you. The enemy always reminds you of what you've done in the past, or makes you feel like you're not worthy of love, worthy of God, worthy of anything. You don't have a purpose. That's all demonic spirits. So I'm being tormented by this. And I know that essentially, like, I'm being tormented, but it's like the suggestions is like kicking in because I'm sitting in it. So I'm just like trying to like, figure out, okay, what do I do? And I put on my favorite. It's a gospel song that I listen to when I'm going through stuff, like things that helps me break through that stuff that I'm dealing with. And I'm sitting in it, and I'm listening to the song, and then I'm tripping, and I thought I heard it say something sinister, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm just like freaked out. I'm like, what the fuck? And I play it back. And I'm like, okay, that wasn't even what it was saying, but why did I hear that? You know what I mean? Like, I'm over here really mentally being tormented. So I grab my Bible and I start reading something, and I don't know why I was led to a certain scripture. I'm reading it, and the way that I'm reading it, it was making me feel uneasy, and I was judging myself like, oh, maybe this is God's way of saying like, yeah, you ain't shit, right? And that's not how God talks. Like, that's some other shit. I was, like I said, torment, torment, and I just felt so. The best way I can describe it is I felt so alone. Um, and that's how the enemy, like, and I talk about this because people really discard the fact that evil exists in the world. Is it more powerful than God, the creator? No. But it exists, and you have to know what you're fighting. And sometimes the enemy can be ourselves. But there is darkness that exists, and you have to acknowledge that. You can't be oblivious to it. So I feel so like alone. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, God, are you even listening? Are you even here? Like, why is this happening to me? Like, why am I in here feeling all of this? Like, I shouldn't have took the edible. I'm stupid. Why did I do it? I'm beating myself up. I'm just like, where are you? And then something said, get up and go look at that picture on the wall. Because I didn't look at it when I left. I forgot. Remember, I was like in a rush to meet everybody at the hotel. So I forgot to look at that picture. I walk over to the picture, and I believe it was a variation. It was because sometimes like script, those little pictures, you see these pictures at Walmart or Big Lots or something. They have like these little Bible scripture portrait pictures or whatever, and they're not exactly verbatim. Like, at least they're not always a King James version. It might be kind of modernized, because the Bible, like the King James, it speaks in a certain way, and you're just like, what does all of this mean? But I think it was a modern version of Joshua 1:9. So Joshua 1:9, there's a line that says, I'm with you always, or something like that. And I look at the picture and I see that line because I was just crying, and I was like, God, where are you? Like, what is going on with me? Like, what is this? Why is this happening to me? And then I look at this picture and it says, I'm with you always. And I'm just bawl. I start crying. I just start crying because I'm like, it's just so amazing how God works. But while I was dealing with all of that, the revelation started to come in, and Spirit was already revealing to me what my blockages were. And the revelation came in that the higher it's a level that you got to get to within yourself, within your faith, and within your mind. And there's this glass ceiling, this invincible block. So if you think of a glass, you think of something that's clear, you can see past it, but when you try to walk through it, what's going to happen? You're going to bump yourself, right? So in my case, the ceiling, if you think of it, something above your head, above your crown, where you receive your divine downloads, your divine guidance, it was like I was bumping my head. I couldn't see past that, because those fears, they were my glass ceiling, and I had to face that. So I'm in this glass ceiling energy, quote unquote, and I'm like, oh my God, this is what's blocking me from seeing what you have for me. Like, I can't see my entire purpose and my entire path because this block is here. And I'm so grateful that I was able to spiral to see what my blockages were. The opinions of people, the I'm feeling like I don't matter, or my life, some like you don't have a purpose. Just forgive it, get it up, give it up, right? And that's how I can discern when the enemy comes in even more, because, or people that are walking in demonic energy, or people that are agents of the devil, because they'll come in, they'll try to condemn you and tell you you're nothing, or you're not good enough, or you're this, you're that, you're fake, you're phony, you're ugly, you're this, you're that. The devil always speaks ill will towards you. The enemy, I should say, the dark energy, the dark kingdom, they always speak against you. The best way I can describe it, I don't know if you guys ever watched that Sailor Moon movie that was on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on Netflix. But the best way I can describe what I was going through was when each each sailor guardian would deal with their own personal issue, that illusion, that fear would come over them, and they would be tormented by the illusion of something. And it would always be like a little, one of the characters from the dark, was it the Dark Circus or whatever, or I can't remember what it was called. But it was like a crew of people from the Dark Kingdom that created this circus. They were coming into town, and it was to deceive the people, but they had to deceive the Sailor Guardians and almost turn them against each other and keep them in this elusive, like, illusion state. So that's the best way I can describe what I was feeling. It was like the biggest fears that I had, or the biggest insecurities that I had, certain different things. It would be like, it would amplify, and it would be this big bubble of illusion where you feel like you were stuck. That's what it felt like in that moment. That's the best way I can describe it. So I was feeling all of that, and I went back to, I thought about this video. It was a video that I watched Friday while I was getting ready to go to the luau, I think it was, or maybe it was actually Saturday. When did I watch that video? Saturday. I was getting dressed, and the lady was talking about how, because she has like a class for ladies, to help them go through their traumas, to deliver themselves of certain spirits and stuff like that, and certain traumas. And she said that certain people, when certain parts of the class gets too heavy, people drop out of the class because they can't take it. They don't want to deal with that stuff. It gets too intense for them to face certain things, so they drop out. And she said that towards the end of the class is where a few people usually drop out of the class. And she said when those people do that, it's a spirit of sabotage. Because the spirit of sabotage is just when you're on the brink of something. When something good comes in, you always find a way to sabotage it, or you subconsciously do it. You may not mean to, you may not want to, but let's say a fear gets in the way, or self-doubt gets in the way, or you allow someone else to take you off track. Just before that breakthrough comes, or that good thing comes, you mess it up. So she was saying that these women, they were so close to finishing their book, because a part of their assignment of the class was to write a book of their life story, or like a mini book or something, I guess. And she said they always drop the course towards that last week. Like when they're on the brink of graduating in the class, they break, they give up. And she drew a picture of a woman walking forward, and behind her was a chain, and you couldn't see where the chain began. So it was kind of like something, she said, you can release the spirit, you can release the demon or whatever that's keeping you captive, or the fear that's holding you captive. But that whatever that string of cord is, if that's not broken, if you don't annihilate that cord that keeps you stuck, or keeps you in sabotage, then you're every time you make a forward movement, that thing jerks you back. And I think it's actually called the Python spirit. They call it in Christianity. I believe it's called the Python spirit. It's like if you think of a python or a snake, it restricts you. It suffocates you. It's that type of feeling. I'm paraphrasing, but yeah, they drop out of the class because it's too intense. And I get that. I get it. Like some things we're not ready to hear because we're not ready to face it. We're not ready to heal it sometimes, or it's too painful to touch. So we don't want to face it. We don't want to acknowledge it. So um, I remember watching that video, and when I sat with myself and I said, oh shit, this is sabotage. Because I know God's trying to do something, and there would always be points in time where I could feel like, okay, I know there's something I'm supposed to be doing, but I just can't see. And sometimes it's not always that we're supposed to see. God will give us a word, or God will give us, some of y'all might call it the universe, whatever. The creator gives us a glimpse of something and tells us, okay, this is what I have planned for you. Or you can know something good is coming sometimes and maybe not know what it is. Or God will tell you, okay, I have this plan, but that doesn't mean that you have to know the ins and the outs of it, you know? And I said, part of my problem, one of my issues is I have to know everything too. I have to know everything. I'm almost done with this channel, y'all. I promise. And I'm probably almost done with the Walu Child page because I've outgrown a lot of things, and I think a lot of people have outgrown me. Um, it's like it's time to move into where I'm supposed to be, because I feel like a lot of people don't really resonate with me anymore, and I don't fit into the market of just talking about love and relationships and who's talking about you or who's gossiping about. Like, I've outgrown that. Like, I'm almost done with this channel. I feel like it's time to elevate past this. But yeah, the whole thing of not being able to trust God and where I'm going and where I'm supposed to be. I know this spirit was calling me higher, and if you resonate with this, it's like there's always something that kind of caps you and limits you, if that makes sense. Um, this ceiling, you bump it. It's like you feel like, okay, I'm almost getting the guidance. I'm almost getting the insight. I'm almost getting the no, and then something bops you on your head, and then you just don't get the revelation. You don't get the insight. So I'm like, okay, that's what that was. I have to break past this glass ceiling if I'm to come higher, because I'm not going to be able to ascend past this glass ceiling unless I break it, remove it. But yeah, that was that. That whole thing, when that happened, I was just like, what the fuck is going on? And then my aunt calls me while I'm spiraling, and um, I was like, I need you. Because I can't. And for me to say that I need somebody is a big breakthrough, because I just don't. Like, it takes a lot out of me to reach out to people and to cry out for, like, say I need help. It really is a lot for me to do that. So I was like, I need you. And she came and she's like, okay, I'm on my way. So, she hugs me, and I'm dealing with the spirit of rejection still, and feeling like I'm not fully loved or receptive. Like, I can't fully be receptive to love. I don't really trust that you're being genuine. I'm dealing with that at that moment. And we're sitting and we're talking once we get to the room. And she's just revealing a lot to me. And she says something that really stuck out. She says something, because I'm like, I had this conversation with her exactly almost a year ago. A year ago, I was in Calabasas, California with her. She had a job that she was training for, and we stayed there for 2 weeks. She had a 2-week training, and she invited me to go with her. So I'm in the hotel room thinking, like, God, what do you want me to do? Because I just told all of my subscribers I don't know if I'm going to be doing tarot anymore. And I noticed that my subscriber count dropped. I noticed that after a while, my channel has never been the same. And I'm just like, is this a punish? Did I do something wrong? Did I jump the gun? Or is this what I'm really being led to do? Because that at that moment, at that time, in that time period, if y'all remember, I don't know how long y'all been on my channel, but if you guys can remember, I was feeling this call to stop using the cards because my gift is not in the cards. I don't need cards. I've always been able to see as a child. That's a gift that I have. So the cards is just a tool, and I feel like it was also an introduction to help people, and people that lean towards the tarot or resonate with the tarot or have to see it to believe it. That was something that it was just a tool. That's it. Certain people use the tool for bad, some people use it for good, some people just don't know what they're doing. But I felt like at that time I needed to stop using the tarot and just strictly trust the gift. Trust without that. So that was a big step for me because some people dropped off. And again, it goes with that saying that certain things, people outgrow certain things, or it's just people just don't resonate with you. It's okay. I went through this the first time that I started my channel. My channel was popping back then. I was not coming on here thinking that it was. I didn't come on here thinking that I was going to have a lot of subscribers. I didn't come on here thinking that I was even going to have clients. That wasn't even my thought. I didn't even think it wasn't even in my mind. Let's put it that way. So when I came on, it was purely to give guidance. That was it. To a certain group of people, which at that time it was the twin flame stuff and people that were dealing with certain wounds and self-love. And I was a baby on that part of my journey. So when God said, we don't want you doing this no more, like this whole twin flame stuff, just stop talking about it, because at this point you're outgrowing that, you're healing past that. So if you do talk about it, it's going to be a different type of energy. It's not going to be from a place of when are they coming back, and it's that had to stop. God put a stop to that. And when I said that on my channel, people was mad at me. They was talking about, oh, you're jealous that you don't have a twin flame, and oh, you're this. You're like, how are y'all gonna be mad because I've decided that that's not what I want to talk about, and I don't resonate with that. People were pissed, and I dropped. My subscriber count dropped, but I moved into a new season of what I was delivering, the messages that I was being guided to deliver, and that's, my channel started to continue to grow, but then eventually it slows. And I don't post just to be posting. I don't come on here posting videos and readings just to, oh, I'm just gonna come on here and I'm gonna post a video. I had to be led, and I had other things going on in my life where I wasn't always available to be as accessible as I used to be. And I also had to learn how to protect my energy better. So going back to what the conversation was in the hotel room briefly, here I am almost exactly a year later, having the same exact conversation about, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. And she said, yes, you do. You just don't want to accept it. And that's true. Because I was being attacked about my purpose and my calling. And when I was in that moment, I can't trust everything that was coming over me and the thoughts that I had, because those thoughts were not my thoughts. They were not pure thoughts. So the whole ridicule, oh, you feel like that's supposed to be what you're supposed to be doing because of such and such. Oh, you think that was the spirit of condemning, that was trying to talk me out of it, trying to stop it before it grows. And I had to have that conversation with my aunt. She had to say that to me because I knew the truth. And that was when I started to sober up a little bit and I could hear better. I can hear with the sound mind, because when that happened, it was amplifying my fears. It was amplifying my doubts, and it was allowing me to be receptive to false counsel, if that makes sense. Because when you sit in that space where you're mentally tormented, you allow other energies to counsel you when you're in that space. And that's why, like, you really You got to have a strong mind. This spiritual shit is not for the weak. It really is not. And my channel is getting to a point of where, like, I see where it's going, and I know that not a lot of people gonna dig it, and I feel like that's why I'm being led to kind of, I'm gonna leave this channel up because there's a lot of gems and jewels on here. So whoever is meant to see it, when they are meant to see it, they're going to. I'm just, my whole shit is excuse my language, but my whole um message is not going to be the same. And it's not going to be for everyone in this current audience. The people that have been following me, it's not going to resonate. It's just not. I don't fit in the market of pick a cards and on this and, oh, how does this person feel? Like, it's starting to get redundant to me. My heart's not in it anymore. um it's certain stuff that I just don't identify with anymore, and I feel like God is calling me into a different space. And those who resonate, and because I have people that have been with me since I started my channel, and I've been on here for a minute, almost 5 years, if not 5 years already. I've been on this YouTube channel for a minute, and um some people resonate and some people don't, and maybe some people still just subscribe because they support me. Doesn't mean that they necessarily resonate with my messages all the time, and that's fine. You're not supposed to always resonate with everything someone says, and sometimes you need certain people for a part of your journey or part of your season. And that's not to say that I won't be available to help everybody that I've been helping, but my audience is changing, and I feel like this channel, it's kind of like my baby, but she's grown now, so I have to let her live her life. She's my baby. The Walu child is. I'm gonna start to cry. My baby, Walu child readings. YouTube. Like, she's grown now. You know, she's out of high school. She about to go to college now. You know, mama gotta let her, do her thing. So I'm not gonna delete the channel, but I will say that I most likely, and not to say that I won't upload on here, because I still got people on here. I still got my fam on here, but I know that, and I've been feeling this, and I've been so scared because I've been clinging on to the security of this, but the reason why I don't get the same views as I have, I'm not going to solely blame it on me being one of the readers that have been blacklisted, because I do believe that there's a few readers that have been blacklisted from YouTube, kind of hidden from YouTube because of their messages. But they're like, no, the audience that you've reached before, your messages are not going to reach those people. They're just not. And I've kept trying to figure out, okay, what am I doing wrong? I know I can read cards off like, I can read, like, no, like, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not doing that. I'm not boasting, but I'm just acknowledging my gift. Like, I could read my ass off. I could read anything using any tool, with or without the cards. But I feel that some of my gifts, it's not for everybody, and I have to be okay with that. And it's almost like, why would you want everyone to watch you? Because some people might cast it down because they don't, they don't get it. They don't resonate. They don't resonate with it. I don't fit into the market of other readings. I just don't. I'm not a commercial reader. I don't fit into that. I don't fit into what everybody else is doing. And I feel like there's a lot of readers that just don't. And they might think that there's something wrong with them or their channel. Why is my channel not going? Because you're not for everybody. And that's okay. The numbers and shit, they're really just a part of the matrix. So what's the point? Who cares? And I had to get that. So fast forward, I've been denying my gift for over a year, basically. It just started coming home more and more throughout that year, last November to now. It's been coming to me. The revelation has been coming to me for more and more, and that's because of the healing. So what I was saying earlier, when you heal, that glass ceiling you start to break through it, and you can get the downloads more clear, because if that block is there, whatever is your glass ceiling, that illusion of what keeps you restricted is there, you're not able to get the full download that you're supposed to get until you remove it. So it's like every time we heal something, when we heal another layer, and we heal this layer, the more revelation we get, because we're not filtered by our wounds. We're not looking from a filtered sense of wounding, or we're not hearing things from our wounded ears. The more and more we heal, the more we're able to hear. So I recognize that with this situation. And when my aunt said to me, you know what you're supposed to be doing, you just keep denying it. And that is so true, because of opinions, because of self-rejection, because of this fear, that fear, stupid stuff. But it's not stupid to the degree of, it is what it is. That's how I feel, and I have to acknowledge it, and I have to, not be so tough on myself with that truth. But I will keep you guys updated. Other than that whole trip, it needed to happen. Not only that, I needed the break. I needed the just time for me, and just that sacred energy was really, really, really needed. Um, it was just a beautiful trip overall. I wouldn't trade any part of it, because it was all meant to happen the way that it did. Long story short, um, yeah, I wouldn't trade it. Even with that, and then I went back when we flew back to Arizona, and I got on the plane. I sat next to the window this time, and I took a picture of the ocean, which will be the thumbnail. I took a picture, and I was like, this is so beautiful. Yeah, I had jitters a little bit still. I would still have to get used to the rocking of the plane and when it elevates and stuff. I had to get used to that, but it wasn't as bad. So I was so proud of myself. And it taught me that, God is in control, regardless of who's driving the plane, who's driving the car, who's driving the boat. Um, God is the air, God is the clouds, God is the sun, God is everything. So I'm good. And if it's meant for it to happen, it's going to happen by divine will. But if it's something that's not meant to be, God will give me the heads up in the morning. But it taught me to trust, and it taught me to see that the biggest thing that we fear the most is really the thing that caps us and keeps us stuck. That's what that taught me. Because if I allowed that fear of getting on that plane really, really get to me, I wouldn't have had the experiences that I had, or it might have been different. Maybe God would have figured out, I'm sure God would have figured out a way to reach me in other ways. But to get that full experience that I got, it wouldn't have happened quite the same unless I got on that plane. So I had to do that. I had to face that. I had to overcome that. Yeah, I don't know if the Walu child is Samantha, the Walu child is a part of me. The Walu thing, and it's actually Hawaiian too, which is ironic. And I didn't know that. I'm a baby when I came up with that word. My family thinks that I was saying flowers. Maybe I was saying flowers. Or maybe I was saying, I want to go to Hawaii, okay? But when I was a baby Walu, I was calling the flowers, and so they say, I was calling the flowers Walus, because I didn't know how to say flower. So when I got older, I would call myself the Walu child, like the flower child. When I looked up the word Walu, the only thing that I could find was I Walu, which means the eighth in Hawaiian. So, interesting. Very interesting. So that's very interesting. I'm like, okay, that just came to me just now, because I already knew that, but just with this whole topic that we're getting into, that's interesting. It's my baby. That's who I am. Walu, like that's me. That is who I am. I don't feel led to start another channel with that name per se, because it's not about trying to recreate what I've already created. God wants me to elevate now. So this baby will she'll always be here. She gonna be available. I'll still post on her. But what I'm doing, what I'm being called to do is something different. And if you guys, if I do whatever I decide to do, I'm gonna let y'all know. For those of you that, support me and have been with me and have followed this channel and, you know, a part of my soul tribe, because I've met a lot of significant people through my YouTube channel, believe it or not. And I've met a lot of significant assholes on my channel too. I've had some crazy stuff happen on the course of me having this channel. Like I said, I've been on here for years, y'all. Like, I feel like this is my baby. Walu Child is my baby. It is. And it's me. It's never going to go anywhere. It's just, um, it's time to now, mama got to have a life too, The Walu was the baby. She grew up. She got her own life, and I'm still going to update her, and, but mama, it's time for mama to have her life now. Like, you know. But yeah, I'm just grateful for the experience. And I appreciate all of you guys too, but um, I don't want y'all to think that, like, oh, you just coming on here and just abandon the chat. Like, and this is not to take any offense in me saying, like, people are below me. We all have our different seasons and our different, don't disappear. I'm not. I'll let y'all know what I'm doing. I might move a little differently moving forward than I did on this channel. Just move a little differently. And I still have my other channel where I do my celebrity psychic reads and stuff, but that's only when I'm led to as well, when I'm led to do those types of readings and share that, because that is a part of my purpose as well. Something with entertainment and reaching. I mean, I'm meant to reach all demographics and, certain demographics and certain things that I'm meant to different people I'm meant to minister to. Because, like, to be honest, I'm at a place where the whole, it's just, I don't know how to explain it. And I've said this before on one of my videos. I just didn't know where I fit, because I'm like, okay, I know that I'm a prophetic messenger. I know that I'm a seer. I know that I can read cards. But how does that all fit with, because some people, they don't want to hear about God, the tarot community, they want to hear about God. They don't want to hear about the Bible. They don't want to hear no scriptures. They don't want to hear, God said this, God said that. They're okay with me saying spirit. They're okay with me saying the universe. God is a triggering word. And then the prophetic world, they're like, you don't belong over here with your tarot card reading ass. Like, what you doing over here? Like, that's of the devil. Like, so I'm just, it's like that little redhead stepchild that's just like, okay, what, like, everybody else, I don't look like everybody else. What am I supposed to be doing? And there's so many of us that don't fit in that demographic. And I'm speaking of, the, I guess, the messengers, the divine messengers. Not everybody is going to be a prophetic channel, right? Go on YouTube and start a prophetic channel and God said this and God, like, and I appreciate those prophetic channels. I really, really do. A lot of them have helped me. Just as a lot of tarot, readers and stuff, they help y'all, and a few of them have helped me. Even helping me to encourage me to start my channel, because there was not many tarot readers in the beginning when I started this YouTube channel. There was only so few, and there was a lot of angel card readers at the time. That was the thing, because those were, like, I feel like the Dorian Virtue people, the Dorian Virtue babies, the movement that she started with the angel cards. I feel like a lot of those people started channels, and that's where I was, I felt the call to start my own channel, but do more twin flame reads. And at that time, I only saw 2 people talking about twin flames in their readings. That was not a big thing at that time. So when I entered in the YouTube community as a reader, the twin flame stuff started to take off a little bit more, and become a big thing. And then, it kind of died out, but it's still a thing, that people cling on to. But yeah, it's just growth. It's time for growth. It's time to really go where God is taking me, and I feel like I can reach any audience. Really, it just depends on, you know, who's for you is always gonna find you. That's the thing. When it comes with your gift, who needs it, who's going to find it, they're going to find it on their own, you know. So it's not a matter of feeling unworthy, because your gift is going to serve who it's meant to serve. And even if you are that one seed and you give that one seed to one person, and then they take it and they multiply it and give it to multiple people, and those multiple people take it and multiply it, so on and so forth, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. I would rather have 5 people watch a video or reading that they're led to watch and take something from it than 10,000 people watch the video and only 500 of those thousands of people or 10,000 people take something fruitful from it and multiply it. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I'm getting that. Like, God keeps showing me, like, numbers don't mean anything. That one person that's meant to watch that video, that's all that matters, because that one person might be the ear that has the ear to hear the message and take it and multiply it and give it to other people, rather than 10,000 just watching what you're saying or watching the video or listening to what you're saying, and they don't take nothing from it. They hear what you're saying, but because this is what I've learned. And I send love to y'all. Don't take this personally. Whoever hears this, and this I'm not coming at nobody, but I've worked with some people that come to me about the same things over and over and over again. And I think to myself, is she hearing is she getting the message? Is she listening? Why does she keep asking me about the same thing or the same person? The message has not changed. It's getting a little more aggressive now. Like, you know, when you ask your parents something and you can be like, Mom, 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 and your mom is like, what? Damn, what you what? Like, how many times you gonna keep calling me? Not like that. Like, I don't get like that with people, but it's kind of just like the message starts to get more aggressive. It starts to get to the point of, girl, Spirit done told you. I don't know how many times I gotta say this. I'm gonna say it again. I don't know if you listening or not. But this is the message. It still stands. It's not going to stop. And I've learned that a lot of people are addicted to readings. And I will I'll be honest. I used to be addicted to readings too, because I wasn't leaning on my divine compass, my divine intuition, nor God. And I started to become addicted to listening to this reading and that reading. And I wasn't looking for a real solution, if that makes sense. Some people come on readings to hear what they want to hear, or they earnestly want to know what's going on in their situation, or they pay for a reading. But if a person, a genuine reader, is giving them true guidance on what to do or what's really going on, and sometimes God won't tell you exactly what to do outright, like, yeah, you need to do this, or yeah, you got to let this go. Sometimes the message will sound like, this person is not ready for love. This person doesn't have the capacity to love you. This person is a cheater. They're a liar. But if you're trying to hear something specific, like, okay, they're saying this about this person. I, in my heart, already have made up in my mind that this is my twin flame. We're going to be together. But this person is telling me this person is this, and that, and they're not available for this, and that. That's obviously giving you the answer of what you need to do, right? Okay, this person can't possibly be the one for me when they're doing X, Y, and Z, or they're showing me X, Y, and Z. Then it goes down to, okay, deep shadow work. Okay, if this person, I'm allowing this to happen, what does that say about how I feel about myself? Or what am I making myself available for? You know, it gets deeper into that. But sometimes when we just watch a video, oh, he feels this for you, he's in love with you, or oh, he's got multiple women, or she's doing this, she's doing that. And then you come back on and you want to watch it again and hear the same thing over and over again, but you're not doing anything with it. Or a reader can tell you, hey, self-love, self-work, blah, blah, blah. You have things coming in for you, but you got to work on this. Some people, they listen, they hear the message, they know it's true, but they don't take anything with it. They don't do anything with it. Then there's those that watch it. They hear the message and they're like, oh shit, I don't want to hear that. To the next reader. And then there's those that listen and they're like, yeah, I got to do the work. I got to do the work. I got to do the work. And there's a couple of people on here that have taken the seeds that I have planted on this channel and started their own channels, helping other people. Beautiful. That's beautiful. That's what it's about. Just like someone planted the seed on their channel and it inspired me and helped me to figure out what my purpose was, or to start it, or to tap more into my gifts, and for God to lead me to start my own channel. That's how it works. That's how it works. So whether you're a reader, you're a teacher of children, or you're an author, or you're a singer, you're a lawyer, you have, if you've been called to certain things, you're going to be some sort of a messenger, or of some sort, or some type of help to somebody, and you're going to help multiply many, and just as other people will come, like that lady said, the lady that was saying that she would have people join her class. They would be really amped up in the beginning, very excited, but then when they would get to the nitty-gritty of their healing, because it takes a lot of courage to write a book and publish it. It takes a lot of courage for someone to go in the studio and sing a song that they wrote. It takes a lot for somebody to pick up a basketball and really grind and really put their heart into that. Or for someone to pick up a flute and really put their work into it. Or someone to sit down and say, I'm going to go to rehab and I'm going to heal this. It takes courage to do that, because you're for one, you have to confront some of your biggest fears. We all have them. And some of them are the very things that cap us. But some people decide that when it gets too much, they want to fall off. They want to back up. They want to give up, because they allowed that sabotage to come in rather than saying, I'm going to do the work. And the difference is that God could have a purpose or calling for you. Yes, you're meant to be this. Yes, you're meant to be that. But faith without works is dead. So you can't just expect you to become a overnight success, or a lawyer one day, or a singer one day, or an author one day. Whatever. You can't expect that to just happen and fall into your lap without works. You just can't. That's not how it works. So, difference between those that have the potential is those that do something with their potential, but they also know that they have to do the work within themselves. Us as humans, we've been so conditioned, we've been traumatized, we have battles. And anytime you choose a purpose or calling that is for the divine, that's for God, you're going to be attacked. Not everybody's going to want to hear it, because we live in a society today that has made other things their God, has made their own ego and pride their God, their husbands and their wives, sex, money, drugs, tablets, iPhones, fame, social media. They've made that their God. So naturally, anything, when you decide to choose something that goes against the grain, that doesn't look like or sound like or walk like something everybody else is accustomed to or dealing, or what the world or the TV says is right or what's wrong, then you're going to have people that judge you. You're going to have people that, some people just, they just going to outright attack you, because they're so riddled with demons that They hate truth. They hate light. They hate anything that has light in it. Don't expose my demons. Don't speak on my... Some people can't even control it. They just get so pissed off. They get so mad. Like, some people might not understand why you have haters, or you may not understand, like, some people on YouTube, whatever type of content creator you are, you may not understand why you trigger some people. They come on your channel just saying the outright most just dumb shit ever. Like, you just don't get why someone has time in their day to say the shit that they do to people, or to harass or hurt people. But when you think about it, a person that is so engulfed in their shadow and their darkness, if they see a person that's happy, or they see a person that has something that they think that they should have, or if you're a spiritual person and you're tapping into some shit, you're talking about demons and stuff, and this person is dealing with that demon in them is like, and if the person is not even in control anymore, that spirit is like, like, let me talk some shit. Oh, shut up, bitch. Like, I've had some weird stuff on my channel over these years, like people saying some crazy stuff to me, and I used to let it get to me, because I'd be like, God, what did I say? What did I do? Excuse me. Like, I had some, I don't know what it was. I'm assuming it's a woman. I was talking about the twin flame stuff, and I was talking about self-love, pretty much. And this girl said, bitch, shut up, in the comments. Like, the audacity. The audacity. That's what she said verbatim. Bitch, shut up. I'm just like, wow. You're very high vibrational, ma'am. Because you can just say, oh, this don't resonate with me. But bitch, shut up. Like, am I irritating your ears? Like, I know some people got voices that sound like nails on a chalkboard. Maybe that's what it was. Or she just was just, her ears was just burning. Like, bitch, I don't want to hear this. Shut up. Like, that's demonic. Like, that doesn't even make sense to say that to somebody. And then there's other people that just come on and just say the wildest stuff and have put me on this pedestal of their target. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. But it does at the same time. Demons. So some people can't even control it. It's like, I don't know if you guys ever seen, it's like vampires. Like, when the sunlight comes out, the vampires is like, oh, I'm melting, I'm burning. Yeah, I bet you are. I bet you are. But yeah, that's pretty much. I did not mean for this to get this long. My goodness. Gosh, why is it so long? Take what y'all will. Like, this is a whole podcast. This is a long freaking video. I'm like, not sorry. I'm not gonna say I'm sorry. It is what it is. So if y'all can sit through this, just God bless you. Like, just God bless your patience, because I have a short attention span sometimes. But if it's something that I'm engulfed in, I'm like, yeah, yes, girl, yes, homie, yes, say that, speak that, yeah. I'll sit and watch the whole damn thing if I can. But there's sometimes where I'm like, okay, I'll watch this later. I'll come back and I'll watch it later. And sometimes I won't. That might be because it wasn't for me, or just not that time. But y'all know how I get. Sometimes I can really make really long videos and just be like, where did the time go? But I got up very early this morning. I was up like around 5 something this morning, and I've been up ever since. It is now 9 o'clock. So technically I've been on here for about maybe an hour and a half doing this. But whoever needs to hear it, let them have ears to hear. And if it be so, if not, it is what it is. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will let you guys know what I'm doing with this channel. Like I said, she ain't going nowhere. Like, she gonna be up. But it's just time for me to plant my seeds elsewhere as well, because it's just time. And it's just time. It's just what I'm being called to do. So yeah. All right. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed that testimony and maybe you found some gems in it for yourself. That is the whole premise and purpose of this, is to share my testimony, for it to be a help and light to somebody else's journey, and for their, their testimony in the future as well, and for someone else after them. That's all it's about. Like, we multiplying over here. Like, that's what we do. Positively influence. Much love as always, y'all. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. And I'll catch you guys soon. Peace.